Last Thursday, Norwood police detectives and detectives of the NORPAC Task Force arrested Jacqueline M. Seary, 32, of 140 Winter Street in Norwood and charged her with trafficking in fentanyl. For more on the arrest, we go to Deputy Chief Peter Kelly.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Kelly. I'm the Deputy Chief with the Norwood Police Department, and I just want to bring you a recent arrest of note that we had last Thursday. Our detectives continue to work with NORPAC and amongst themselves and be diligent in the crime against drugs. And they had a case where it finally came together last Thursday. They had been investigating a woman, Jacqueline Seary, a 32-year-old woman out of Norwood, for dealing in fentanyl. And they put a case together and they did some search warrants. They served her with some search warrants last week. And as a result of those search warrants, they recovered over 83 grams of fentanyl, about $20,000 in cash, and some other Class C narcotics where she was charged with that as well. So she went to court that day. She was arraigned, and she will be likely indicted and go to court. The interesting thing about this case is I can remember it wasn't that many years ago when we were talking about fentanyl being introduced into the mainstream. It was starting to come up in some drug investigations, namely heroin investigations. And at that point, we were concerned because a couple of grams of fentanyl we were told at the time anyway, could be deadly to people. Fast forward a couple of years later, and fentanyl is truly the drug of choice now. We don't see a lot of heroin anymore as much as we see fentanyl mixed in with everything. The detectives are making cases, 80 to 90% of fentanyl cases rather than heroin. And the dangerous thing about fentanyl is it's a synthetic opioid. It's made primarily in China, some in Mexico. It's 80 to 100 times more powerful than morphine. And we're seeing it routinely mixed in with heroin, but we're seeing it mixed in with other drugs like cocaine and often, sometimes even marijuana. So that's an interesting case where our detectives, along with NORPAC, put a great case together. Detective Tony Lopes was the case detective. They all do a great job, but he really did a great job in this case, putting it together and taking a fentanyl trafficker off the street. And we'll continue to march on in this war against drugs.